my name is Tina and welcome to the G-Sport Hub. Last time I sit down and wanted to make an about 10-minute long DFM summary video for everyone new who may not know everything about DFM. It ended up being so now I actually want to speedrun it and actually want to get it under 10 minutes one day before Worlds. So first of all, the first thing I see wrong in all of social media and all of Reddit is who's gonna play the top lane. It's not gonna be Yutapon. No, to our current knowledge, Upperman is gonna play top lane. I would say it's like 99% chance Upperman is gonna play the top lane. Even though I used to say that DFM I think would scream with both formations, that's not true. DFM was exclusively screaming with Upperman on the top lane. With that being said, there were some screens when Milan was playing, when Yutapon couldn't, because Yutapon had to travel to China for Asian Games. So Milan got like 2 or 3 days of screams, but you get the point. Upperman has been always on the top lane, always screaming, and whenever Yutapon could scream, he was screaming as a bot laner. So don't think that Yutapon is gonna play top. Something really has to go wrong for this to happen. If Upperman was horrible in the top lane, or Milan was a super good AD carry in those 3 days when he could scream, DFM would have already screamed with this other formation, but they didn't. Upperman still stayed as a top laner. And honestly, the meta is fine for him. Basically, Cassante is the only champion that was released after Upperman has retired, and he has been practicing some Cassante, but besides that, there's that Renekton, Rumble, Aatrox in the top lane, which all of those he's very confident and very good at. The last time he played was 2021, and the last time he was in an actually good team, actually performing in the LGL was 2020. In 2019, he actually got a pentakill on the Aatrox. And I know in League of Legends, just a few years, there's a lot of time, a lot of things can change. I'm not saying he will stomp others, but he won't be taking as much resources as the Totsu formation, and I think he's just gonna be fine on the top lane. And all the other parts are gonna be same as MSI when now comes the second part I think most people not necessarily getting wrong, but don't really think about. When I see power rankings of DFM, usually they bring up the MSI performances, why they wouldn't be that great, but the MSI performance I think has nothing to do with the current DFM lineup. And you can say these are just excuses, but the thing is, the MSI performance was horrible because, first of all, they arrived super late. Yutapon got, I think, food poisoning, or he wasn't feeling well for like the first few days. And we know now the team morale and the screams were horrible. Harp has come out saying that the screams were absolutely useless. These are his words. It's very rare to see someone speaking like this about a teammate. But he was saying that the screams were super useless because the top lane was requiring too much resources and basically couldn't have any good screams since the games were decided by 5 minutes because of top lane difference. And now we know what happened with Totsu. I made literally hours of videos explaining the whole drama if you're curious, but the part that's important here, there were a lot of factors why he couldn't perform, and we know that he had a breakdown in London, so that's not a great thing when your top laner is having a little mental breakdown in your competition. So you can see this performance was really bad, and World is not going to be anything like that. If anything, I think this team is going to be closer to the 2022 Worlds team, because back then they still had Abby, a much better top laner, let's be honest. But again, let's be honest, they had Yaharon, who is not as good as a mid laner as Arya. And in this current meta, when in the jungle you can see the Poppies, the Nocturnes, the Kha'Zix, this is Steel's bread and butter, and he will be able to enable Arya so much. He won't need to focus on the top lane, and Arya can finally shine. So this is gonna be a much better than the MSI one. Actually, I would even argue this is probably the best formation of the DFM we have in like 2022 and 2023. It's not to discredit either Totsu or Yaharon because they were put in a situation where they had to fill such a big shoes. But the thing is, Arya is back in form because in summer he won the most MVPs. Yutapon now back in the bot lane with Harp, who was still, if you remember his KT debut, he was known to be a super aggressive support. Now he can play the Rakan while Yutapon playing the Xayah. It's a perfect combination. And just as a little note, because I hear rumblings about the Senna appearing in screams, Senna bot and Senna support both are something I think we're gonna see. Harp, I'm gonna be honest, is not the strongest on Senna. I mean, it's kind of weird because he said that he likes the ADC supports and his favorite meta ever was the ADC supports, but Senna specifically, he is not the best at. So I don't know how the Nila or Ezreal Senna lane would go, because Yutapon is really good with Nila and Yutapon is really good with Ezreal. Both of those champions he has been practicing a lot. He has been also practicing the Senna, so maybe Senna bot lane and we can get some of those Ashe supports again. There is some cooking potential in this bot lane is all I'm saying, so don't discredit Harp because he has had to lane with Milan for such a long time now. And this is not to discredit Milan again. I like all these players. I think if these players are actually have the chance to, get practice, they're gonna be better. It's just the situation was so sudden. This team had to be glued together so fast. But now I do think that they had like a 1 month when they could just scream together. This is gonna be the best formation of DFM in quite a while. So finally, my expectations. I don't think we're gonna have another MSI situation when DFM just bombs out. We know from leagues that DFM went toe-to-toe against both CFO and Team Wales, and that was with their old roster, which again, I think the new one is better, so I think DFM has a good chance against them. Against GG or BDS, no. I'm sorry, I don't think so. So I think other than both the other matches can go either way. If we get into the BO5s and play against PSG, most likely, I think that would be already amazing, considering the whole year, considering all the controversies, all the dramas that happened. Getting there in the BO5, that would already be super good. And we would lose to PSG, I think, but getting there, this is what I would want to look forward to. Now finally, wait, did I say finally? Finally, what content you're gonna see during Worlds from G Sport Hub? First of all, I'm gonna do live viewing of DFM games on our Twitch channel, which means if you go into this Twitch channel and type in !live view, you're gonna see the website that if you click there, it's gonna be all automatic, you can see both my stream and the main stream. It's just a little added level of excitement. I'm gonna watch the Japanese stream, I'm gonna translate the Japanese theme if anything is said there. So if you want to join us, twitch.tv/gsporthub on DFM games. On the DFM games, we're also gonna have Korean solo queue spectating streams every single day, both on Twitch and YouTube. It's just a fun little chit chat while watching actually League of Legends. Then we also have Kuromi and Barry predictions. Kuromi, my cat, has been doing predictions for quite a while, but now she brought one of her friends, Barry, over to do the same thing. The first round of predictions is already up on the G Sport Hub Twitter, and they're just gonna go against each other each round and see at the end of the tournament who has more points. Then obviously we're gonna translate every single interview that's happening on the Japanese stream. Usually they don't do losers interview if DFM loses, but they always do at least one at the end of the tournament, so there's gonna be at least one. I hope there's gonna be more because that means DFM wins a lot. So the Japanese interviews, we're gonna translate them and publish on this YouTube channel. And finally, if there's any news about the Worlds or DFM specifically, it's gonna be on our Twitter. Again, G Sport Hub, follow us because we're gonna post all kinds of things there. If you want to know even more about DFM, I can suggest the 20-minute long video that I posted 2 weeks before Worlds. It's still great, but maybe a little too long for people's time. And if you know someone who just don't have any time at all, we have also been posting on TikTok, YouTube Shorts, and Instagram Reel as well. Every single player got a 1-minute introduction video, so you can watch even those. A lot of content happened so far, and a lot still to go as we go on to Worlds. Let's all cheer for DFM. That was the G Sport Hub, and I was Senna. Bye bye!